But the Jets are going to play a football game on Sunday. We've all accepted that Zach Wilson sucks. I think everyone knows that. You know that, right? Zach Wilson sucks?
Right now, yes.
Yes. Sean knows Zach Wilson sucks?
He sucks.
Hey, Loogie, Zach Wilson sucks?
He really sucks.
That's why on Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs, I'll give you the now what, Coach Saleh. You always ask that question. Now what? The now what is Trevor Siemian needs a week or two to get ready and understand the playbook. Tim Boyle plays against the Chiefs Sunday night, period. I'm done watching Zach Wilson. We cannot watch him play football anymore.
You want him to start?
Yes.
Against the Chiefs.
Tim Boyle, yes.
Are you kidding?
Am I kidding?
He hasn't taken a first team rep, I don't think, all camp.
Okay.
And certainly not in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden you want Tim Boyle,
Yeah.
a career, in whatever his career is right now, journeyman,
Yes.
to be your starting quarterback.
Yes.
And you think you have a better chance to win
Yes.
than with Zach Wilson,
Zach
who has a
Wilson-
lot of starts, not all of them good, not really of them good, but all of them under his belt. You really think that's the solution?
Zach Wilson is 8-16 in his NFL career. Zach Wilson has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. Dating back to last year, Zach Wilson is terrible. He does not give the Jets any chance to win. So while I'm not going to sit here and talk about the greatness of Tim Boyle, because I can't do that, he's only played 3 games in the NFL, here's what I can say. He's not Zach Wilson. And look, here's the problem.
What did Zach Wilson ever do to you?
No, it's not like lose, be bad. What do you mean? What has he ever done to me? He's not good. Like, you accepted that yesterday.
Yes.
You watched what we saw on
Yes.
Sunday, and you understand and you've admitted that he's atrocious and is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Agree?
But isn't there something?
Agree.
Yes.
Thank you.
Statistically, he is the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
Rating-wise, he has been the worst quarterback for each of the first 2 years of his career.
Okay.
And so far in this season, it's kind of the same formula.
So how can you then say that and pivot to him? He should start. Like, how does that work?
Because I don't think Tim Boyle is a better option. And again, I really don't know that much about Tim Boyle. I watched a couple of his throws yesterday when we were having this internal off-air conversation about who the backup options were. Tim Boyle looks confident, looks certain with where he wants to do with the football, but that's not in this offense. That's not with this porous offensive line with 3 guys out of position, at least last week. I don't know what the situation offensive line is going to be like this week, but it's likely to still be a little bit troublesome. I don't know if I can trust Tim Boyle. I mean, I kind of know, even though it's bad, what I have with Zach Wilson, but I can't see the Jets, and I know they're not doing this, sitting Zach Wilson down. You may scream for it. Other Jet fans may scream for it, just like he did with last year. Why am I forgetting his name?
Mike White.
Mike White. He did it with Mike White last year.
Never forget his name.
He's forgettable to me.
Oh, wow.
Right? You never got like that. Oh, yes, this is now the solution by changing quarterbacks the way that the Jets are looking to change quarterbacks.
I do not, and I want to be as respectful as I possibly can.
Yes.
Because this was actually boiling over for me when you and Joe had your tiff yesterday.
And you got distracted from it.
Yeah, and I never got to explain to you my issue with everything you just said.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
you alluded to this yesterday
Let's hear it.
before the tiff
Let's hear it.
concerning Mike White. What I don't understand, and I'm going to be very calm about this, is why you and others look at guys who have barely gotten a chance in the NFL, like Mike White, like Tim Boyle, and you've already declared with 100% certainty they're not good. Yet the guy who's played 24 games and has gotten shot after shot after shot, in your opinion, deserves another shot on Sunday night. Why?
This is such a good question because you're right.
Oh, thank you.
You're right. Mike White and the Tim Boyles of the world, of course they could be decent players. Of course they could make the right throws, not make any mistakes, let the run game do its job, and actually win a game in the NFL. Of course they can. But guys like that have a hard time escaping their draft grade, no matter how long it's been. I'm being honest. You ask why we evaluate guys like that. That's why. Because you come out of school and there is a perception about what you can be. And for the most part, it's proven to hold true, right? Guys who just kind of were middle of the road, draft picks. Yeah, sometimes they get to start, but ultimately they hit a ceiling and they're not going to go anywhere. And I think what's giving Zach the benefit of the doubt in Robert Saleh's mind, and just as an aside, this is not Nate Hackett's call. For those that are thinking, oh, well, Nate should clamor for someone else because it'll help save it. This is not Nate Hackett's call. This is Robert Saleh's call, 100%. Or maybe the owner has, Woody Johnson has a say in this.
Joe Douglas.
Joe Douglas has a say in this as well. But my point is, you still believe in the draft grade on Zach Wilson.
When do we stop?
Despite the evidence that he might not reach the ceiling
Kiki,
that you set for.
When do we stop? When do we stop living off of where he was drafted?
That is the age-old question.
No. But forget
because you don't know when it could click. And you don't know that a kid who came into the season who was supposed to learn, he was not supposed to play at all. Now, your argument about maybe there should have been another backup in between him is 100% valid. That's a Joe Douglas question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they didn't do it. I don't know why they didn't bring a backup.
They made a mistake, but it doesn't fix where we are today.
Agreed, but I don't know why he's been put in this position where everybody thinks and kind of knows that he's not going to succeed. But with that being said, you're better off chasing his ceiling than chasing a much lower ceiling on Tim Boyle or Trevor Siemian, whoever else you bring in.
Has crashed in. The ceiling is over. If this was Zach's rookie season, and it was Zach's rookie season, when the Mike White phenomenon began, while I disagreed with you then, I understood it more. When it was even year 2, I understood you a little bit less, but I got it. We are now in year 3. I am sick and tired of hearing about where this man was drafted. So I bring it back to the question I asked you, not Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
I already know that Robert Saleh's clueless. We all know that. Robert Saleh doubled down yesterday. We played it live on the air. Zach's our guy. He even uttered the BS line, we didn't lose because of the quarterback. We all know that's not true, but Robert Saleh still said it into a microphone. So forget him. We all know he's wrong. Now I'm looking at you.
Yes.
I asked you the question, who should start at quarterback for the Jets on Sunday night?
Zach Wilson.
Why?
Zach Wilson.
Why do you still believe in his draft status? Why?
Because all right, so I'm going to back way up to 2004. We had a rookie quarterback that season with the New York Giants. His name was Eli Manning. Yes, I know he has a pedigree, and I'm seeing this just because the news is popping up on my computer screen. I didn't search for it, but it's just popping up there, that Eli Manning is giving advice to Zach Wilson. I don't know what that advice is. Maybe have a Manning last name, and you're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Retire.
But I don't. In that season, Eli was rough. It was bad.
I agree.
And there was a point where the veterans were getting frustrated because we knew we had a little bit, not a ton of talent. We had enough talent to win more games than we were winning. And it just never would happen. But you'd see a little thing, there's one throw here. That's a good decision. And it kind of culminated at the end of the season. We're playing the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
And Eli was exceptional, especially when we put him in a hurry-up, no-huddle type of situation. He was fantastic. Led us down the field, audibled into a draw on the goal line. We score the winning touchdown. We win that game, his first win. And it propelled him to exponential growth in the subsequent years, ultimately culminating in a championship. And so why did he get the benefit of the doubt? One, because he was a rookie. But two, because you were still waiting on that him to hit his ceiling, right? Or at least achieve towards his ceiling that he was drafted at. I look, and I think this is me, I look at the first 2 years of Zach's career as an abject failure on the part of the New York Jets. They put the wrong infrastructure around him. Mike LaFleur had no idea what he wanted to do offensively, and he certainly had no idea how to do that while also groom a young quarterback coming from BYU who didn't have anything that translated into the NFL. And so I come into this season, his third year. Yes, I know. And you keep saying it's his third season.
Well, because it's a lot.
But
that's why in the modern NFL, it's a lot.
And to me, and I think the Jets did this as well, they reset him back to like he's a rookie. And so to me, he's in his rookie season.
I can't do that.
I know you can.
None of us can do that.
I know you can. But you're asking me,
yes,
not you. You're not asking Joe Beningo or anybody else, you're asking me why I still give him a chance. It's because I've reset his clock to being a rookie. Now, if he doesn't figure it out by the end of the year, it's over. His career is over.
By the end of the year? So you're talking, because my follow-up to that, as much as I disagree with you, I hear you. Mm-hmm. My follow-up is, okay, so since this is his rookie season again based on this, does that mean we have to give him the entire year?
No, but you have to give him next week. And probably the week after that. And probably the week after that.
And then the season spiraled.
No.
Then the season's going to spiral, bro.
It's gonna spiral anyway.
I don't know that.
Yes, you do.
How do I know that?
Because
you're
going to bench Zach Wilson and put Trevor Siemian, who in week 4 of the NFL season 2023 is on the street. The street. You don't pick up dudes off the street and all of a sudden they make the damn Pro Bowl. It doesn't work that way.
I'm not asking for him to make the Pro Bowl. I'm asking for him to be competent, which this quarterback is not. I'm not asking for the Pro Bowl. You're right. That's crazy. But I'm not suggesting that. All I'm asking is you've admitted Zach's been the worst quarterback in the league. If Trevor Siemian or Timmy Boyle plays like the 25th best quarterback in the league.
But do you think they're going to be the 25th best quarterback? Or are they going to be the 31st best quarterback?
You know what I would say to that? They have a better chance than Zach Wilson. That's my answer to you. And I don't want this season just spiraling because Zach's in his 3rd rookie season. I can't have that happen. You're willing to have that happen. I can't, as a fan, have that with the talent on this roster. You're going to let it end? Like, if they're getting blown out, if it's 17-0 at halftime, which is a blowout, but okay, still have a shot. But it's all the offense at halftime. You're not going to Tim Boyle, Tiki?
It depends on how he's playing.
Zach Wilson sucks.
It depends on how he's playing.
The same Zach Wilson we've seen for how many years? It's not good, bro. He can't
on
read
how
the
he's
pocket.
playing.
He's making dumb decisions. But he's not turning the ball over, so let's have a party.
Are you pulling him? I don't disagree with you.
Are you pulling him?
Probably not.
Oh, my goodness.
Probably not.
Zach Wilson's not good.
The alternatives are not great. And at least you're chasing something with Zach. With these other guys, you're chasing a low ceiling. This is a knock on them because, look, there's backup quarterback job is one of the greatest jobs in the history of mankind. And I'm not even joking, right? Be a backup quarterback. Help young kids learn. If you call upon to play, go do your best. But you know where the ceiling is for those guys. And so with Zach, at least you're chasing a higher ceiling. Does he ever get it? I have no idea.
Trevor Siemian has done more in this league than Zach Wilson has ever done. Trevor Siemian entered a football game last year. It was 7-7, or 2 years ago, I should say, 2021. He entered a game after Taysom Hill got hurt, and it was 7-7, and he was facing the great Tom Brady on the other side of the field, and he won the football game, and he played well. That's not something Zach Wilson has ever done. He can only fantasize about something like that. So while I'm not trying to put Trevor Siemian in the Hall of Fame, and you're right, like I am not disputing, Evan, you can't take a guy off the street and expect him in the Pro Bowl. Not expecting that. I'm expecting that he's more competent than the guy who's starting right now. That's all I'm asking. And Tim Boyle has played 3 NFL games. While I agree it is very, 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 very unlikely he ever turns into anything special, I believe that when the Jets play a football game on Sunday, Tim Boyle, with his 3 career starts, and Trevor Siemian walking off the street, still supplies them with a better chance to win than the incompetence of Zach Wilson. And I don't think what I'm saying is crazy.
Neither one of us knows who's right. I'm just telling you that's my opinion because I believe that there is a higher ceiling with Zach. If he ever can figure out how to start stepping towards it, it would be amazing. But he hasn't done it yet. I forgive those first couple of years because it was incompetence that was getting him to where he needed to be. And I feel more confident in this staff if the offensive line ever gets healthy and correct and he's not running for his life every step of the way.
But that's not the fair excuse.
The last thing but it is the situation. It's not the excuse. It's just the situation.
No, but let me ask you a question.
You have a rookie center starting at guard. You have
he played well.
You have a high. He missed a lot. Trust me.
PFF graded him well.
I'm not looking at the PFF grade. I'm looking at the did you block the right person grade. So there's things that PFF doesn't always account for. There's also a guard playing tackle. You have a right tackle playing left tackle. Now I know that Becton should be a left tackle, but it's one thing to jump, right-handed. Your right hand is your set hand. That's the one you're protecting to go around to the right side. And then all of a sudden you got to do that the other way. Not everybody's ambidextrous. It was a cluster last week, offensive line wise. And the last thing that I want to see is Zach Wilson get sat down and T-Money Sizzle be the starting quarterback for the Jets, or T-Money Wiggle, or T-Dot, or whatever the hell his nicknames are according to Pro Football Reference.
I like him even more.
Right? So, I mean, I maybe it works. Maybe it is an utter disaster. But I just can't see the Jets willingly doing that.
877-337-6666. Sonny in Malvern. What's up, Sonny?
Hey, guys. First of all, you can't blame Zach Wilson for the Jets not winning a Super Bowl since 1969, and then having nutcases like your ex-partner Joe Beningo coming on and screaming and questioning Tiki Barber's perspective about the quarterback position. Number two, it's not Zach Wilson's fault that the Jets selected him 2 overall when he should have probably been selected 7th or 8th by another team and been a backup quarterback in this league. It's not Zach Wilson's fault that this inept coach continues to play him when they should have been on the phone the second Aaron Rodgers went down to bring in the veteran quarterback. I'm tired of people hating on Zach Wilson. Yes, he cannot play quarterback, Evan, but it doesn't do anybody good to continue to hate on this kid.
No. Sonny, you said a lot of things that I agree with. Mm-hmm. You did. But the one thing that you're hearing incorrectly is my anger is at this coach. My anger is at this general manager. My anger is that he should not play. Obviously, Zach Wilson doesn't make the decision himself to pull himself out of a game. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm describing is that he's bad at football, but because we've all seen that. But my issue, and I certainly laid it out yesterday, and we'll do it again whenever we talk about this, is that this coach needs to make the best decision for this team. And as crazy as it sounds, and honestly, I don't even think it's that crazy, their best decision is putting someone other than Zach Wilson behind center. And the disagreement that Tiki and I have, and I think a lot of football guys have this disagreement, is the idea of he was drafted high because he has a lot of talent, which you're right about.
Yeah.
And you see Tim Boyle and you see Trevor Siemian, and you say, there's no way they can turn into anything. I look at Zach Wilson and say, I think he's gotten to that point, too. Why don't the Jets sign Josh Rosen? He only got 16 games to play. Like, why not? Josh Rosen was drafted very high. Why is Josh Rosen not on speed dial? Because the Arizona Cardinals and the rest of the NFL made a decision very early on. Despite all the talent he had, he can't play in this league. It boggles my mind that the Jets haven't come to that conclusion after 24 games with this kid.
I think they're excusing those first 2 years because of the situation that he found himself in, or they put him in, more specifically. He never should have been starting without even competing for the job. Josh Rosen, he had chances to compete for jobs after he left the Arizona Cardinals in one of the worst situations you'll ever see in drafting a quarterback. And guess what? He never made it off the practice squad.
Has Zach Wilson competed for any job with this team?
No, he didn't. He hasn't.
Bingo!
He hasn't.
Even now!
He hasn't.
Even
but
now!
I look, I'm not arguing with you about the fact. I know what the facts are, but I also know that he was drafted very high for a reason, and he did some amazing things in college. College is a different game. I understand it. I called a lot of college games, and you watch the tape, and you're just like, wow, does anybody play defense in this league? So, I mean, it's one thing to be great in college. It's another to translate that to the NFL. Zach, at least the Jets believe that Zach can eventually get there. And they know that the ceiling is high if he does. But unlocking it is hard. And it's unfortunate that he's in this situation, but sometimes you got to go through the tough times to find the good stuff on the other side.
It's a really disgusting question, but it's the reality the Jets are going to face going into Sunday against the Kansas City Swifts. And that is simply, which quarterback gives them a better chance to win? Zach Wilson, who stinks, or Timmy Boyle, who started 3 games in his NFL career? And then eventually, once Trevor Siemian catches up on the playbook, he'll enter that equation.